Credit comes in all shapes and sizes. For example, I want to receive credit for swimming 5 metres. What? Not that type of credit. Oh, well, this is embarrassing. Right, the other type of credit is, in its simplest form, where you buy goods or services now and agree to pay for them later. It's kind of like a formal version of an IOU note. Mortgages, loans, credit cards and overdrafts are all different forms of credit. In most cases, if you take credit, then you'll have to pay back an agreed amount every month. This will usually also include some interest, although you can also get interest-free credit too, which means that you only have to pay back the amount that you borrow. When you ask to borrow money, the lender will usually perform a credit check. This looks at your credit history, a digital record that shows stuff like what you've borrowed in the past, what you've paid back, what you currently have left to pay back, and if you've missed any payments. Your credit history can be summarised as a credit score. If you have a high credit score, then you'll usually be more likely to be accepted for credit in the future. You might also get a better rate of interest on the money that you borrow. Of course, your credit history is only handy if you've had credit in the past. If you've never had credit before, then you won't have a credit history, and your score will be low through no fault of your own. Because the credit industry feels more comfortable lending to people who have a track record of paying back credit, this might mean that your credit application will be turned down. So how can you build up your credit score? Well, if you've never had credit in the past, then a good place to start is with your bank. Your bank will often use your account history to assess your credit worthiness. So, as long as you've paid money into your bank account regularly and not gone overdrawn, then they might still offer you credit. If you have a credit card and use it to buy some things each month before paying it off, then this will all be tracked on your credit record and should start to build up your credit score. Once you've built up your credit score, it's a good idea to keep it as high as possible. Remember that if you ever want a mortgage or a loan in the future, then your credit score is going to be the first thing that a lender will look at. So, what might affect your score? Well, there are a few different formulas used to work out a credit score, but most are based on these things. Payment history. If you've ever made late payments in the past, then this might lower your score. Public records. If you've ever been made bankrupt or had any judgments against your name, then this might also lower your score. Amount owed. There will be a total limit to the amount that you can borrow. If you're close to your limit, then you might not be able to borrow any more money until you've paid some of it back. Length of credit history. The rule of thumb is the longer history you have, the better. New accounts. If you've opened several new accounts in a short period of time, then this might lower your score. Searches. Every time a lender looks at your credit history, it's recorded. Believe it or not, but even this can lower your score. Accounts in use. If you've got too many accounts open, then this can lower your score, even if you don't use them. If you ever want to check a copy of your credit report, then there are companies such as Equifax and Experian in the UK who can provide you with this for a small charge. And so to recap, credit is where you buy goods or services now and agree to pay for them later. Before a lender offers you credit, then they will usually conduct a credit check. This looks at your credit history, which in turn can be summarised with a credit score. The higher your credit score, the more likely you are to be accepted for credit in the future.